Hello. Welcome, all of you replayers and you YouTubers. Thank you so much for joining me. Today is the new full moon in Libra. So I thought I'd pull a card for every sign doing the dailies. But what I'm going to ask for is I'm going to go over each house it's going to be in for you. So what you need to be focusing on and releasing. And then I'll pull a card to see what the advice is for that. Okay. So I'm just kind of waiting for everybody to come in. Hi. Hello. How is everyone? Welcome, everyone. So I was just talking to the YouTubers. I know you have a birthday girl going on, don't you? I was talking to the YouTubers. So today is that full moon in Libra. I love you too. Can I say who you are? I don't know if I should say who you are. um, so today is that full moon in Libra, and um, so I'm going to go over each house. I did this video already in the, so that's my sister, everyone. My sister's here. My beautiful Cancer sister's here. Hi. Welcome. Thank you for coming in. So, what I thought I'd do today is go over each house that the sign that it's going to affect you in, and I miss you too. I was thinking about coming down this weekend, but I'm not sure. I got to wait and see if I can finish these videos, but we'll see. Anyway, sorry. So everyone, that's my sister. So on for each sign, I went over a video how that was going to affect each house and you personally. So what I thought I'd do today is pull a card for each of your signs. I know, right? Pull a card for each of your signs to give advice, because that's what you're focusing on today. That's the area that you want to focus on. So I'll go over each sign, the house it's in, what that house means, and then I'll pull the card for you, okay? So welcome everyone. For those of you that don't know me and those of you that are doing the replay on YouTube and on IG on Instagram, my name is Cindy. I am the modern day spiritual advisor. I use multiple modalities, including tarot, to help you on your path. So I'm just kind of waiting for everybody to gather in. I will be uploading this to YouTube. For those of you that can share this out, please share this out so it can get to people and they can understand what's going on in their life, right? So, so we have this full moon in Libra. Libra is all about relationships. So this is all about relationship. That doesn't necessarily have to be love relationships. It can be your family, your friends, co-workers. We have a relationship with money. We have a relationship with everything. So this is what this full moon in Libra is about. Libra's the diplomat. Libra wants to balance everything out, right? And so this is kind of what this full moon is about for us. Yeah, this is about what this full moon is about for us. The full moons mean completions, ending, conclusions, things like that are going on. And so negotiation, diplomacy, any of that that's going to be going on. And so you feel the effects of the full moon, especially this full moon because it's a blue moon, for 2 weeks. So whatever you're working on today, don't forget to put your crystals out so that they can get recharged. But whatever you're working on today in this full moon can manifest in the next couple of weeks. Okay, so I also wanted to note, I wrote an article, I wrote a little blog on IG and on all my social media. Yeah, they can all see. My sister said a curse word, so she was like, sorry for the bad words. Anyway, so the Saturn and Mars are in conjunct, so they're having a conversation, and they're having a conversation against the sun, right? So the sun opposing the moon means a full moon, but the sun is opposing, it's squaring Saturn and Mars, and so Mars is that planet of war. Mars likes that thrust, that energy, that force, and Saturn is that planet that wants you to work hard for your stuff. It will bring you the most beautiful blessings in your physical reality, but it wants to know that you're responsible. So it wants to know that you want this, right? So you have to show Saturn you want this, right? And so this brings us back to the full moon. The full moon is about releasing, letting go, releasing energy, releasing old habits, releasing the relationships and all types of relationships that no longer serve us. And so when you release that, you bring in, you have more room in your energetic field to be able to bring in those blessings that Saturn's going to help give you. So today, you may be feeling like, because Saturn is squaring the sun, Saturn and Mars are both squaring the sun, you may feel like your mind wants to do one thing, but your emotions want to do another. That's Saturn and the sun squaring. Because Saturn, again, wants to make sure that you want what you said you want. And you have to show Saturn that you're responsible, right? Because Saturn's going to give you these gifts, but he wants to know that you're responsible, right? Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and Saturn is about the business. So she says, I feel like I want to focus, my focus is on new business ventures. Yeah, so Saturn is business, Saturn is structure. You also may be having delays or yeah, delays, and you may feel restricted in some way. So that's Saturn making sure that you really want this. So you can have it. Saturn will give it to you, but you have to put the force into it. You have to put the energy into it. You have to say, this is what I want. You have to stay focused. That's the way to get through Saturn. Stay focused. Don't take no for an answer and stay on it, right? Hi. So since this full moon, beautiful full moon, I know a lot of you, especially water signs, like my sister, she's the Cancer I always talk about, especially water signs. The full moon, you really, really feel connected, and the moon is your ruling planet. So you're really feeling connected today. You're really feeling, you could feel emotional today. But with this full moon, it's just to get you through and releasing, right? To get you through and releasing. So uh, Libra, it's because it's in Libra, that's Libra's first house. So the first house is your identity. So Libra, you could be thinking about exactly who is in your life, what's going on. You could be dealing with a marriage or a divorce. This is what you'll be dealing with in like the next 2 weeks. This is what you're trying to let go of. Maybe you've been through a divorce, or maybe you've just been through a marriage and you're sort of trying to figure out the balance of that, right? But this is your identity. This also has to do, your identity has to do with your looks, your physicalness, the way that you identify here in this world. So this is sort of the focus for you. Maybe you're letting go of an old hairstyle. Maybe you're letting go of the way you do your makeup. Maybe you're letting go of someone. Maybe you're letting go of something. Maybe you're letting go of the way that you handle money. It's like, it depends on you and your aspect for your identity. That's the first house. So saying that, let's pull a card for Libra and see what their advice is, right? Getting this crap done. Yeah. Yeah, Shelly Bean says she's dealing with the divorce and getting this crap done. I hear you, Shelly. I hear you. So, let's look. I'm going to pull a card for Libra. So, because you're dealing with the first house, Libra, I'm asking Spirit, what is the advice that they give you for this full moon tonight, for this full moon today? Remember, we will be feeling the energy. You've already started feeling it a day and a half before, and then 2.5 days after. Okay, you'll feel the effect. So you'll feel it. So, yep, isn't that funny? So Libra, this is about you balancing. This is about you juggling. This is about you really taking note and figuring out, am I paying too much attention to myself, or am I not paying attention at all to myself? Like, this is the balance of me and other people, me and my relationships, me and the way I handle things, right? And it has to be in balance for you. But sometimes your balance is skewed. Like in your head, oftentimes what you'll do is you'll give more, and then you'll be depleted. And then you're wondering why you're depleted. That's because you're giving more and you're not taking yourself in honor, right? So honor yourself. This is about keeping this balance. This is about, in the next couple of weeks, you're going to be juggling things. You're going to be rearranging things. We are in Mercury retrograde, so that makes sense. But you're going to be sort of settling things in so that it is balanced in your life. That's what I see you working on. That's what their advice is. Their advice is, so with the Two of Coins or the Two of Pentacles, their advice is you can have both. You can have these projects and these relationships and these things that you're wanting, but you have to have them in balance. And so if you really want them to stick into this ground, if you want long-term stuff, then you have to balance it out, okay? You kind of already know that, Libra, but you forget that sometimes, okay? So, Scorpio, my beautiful Scorpios, this is going to be in your 12th house. The 12th house is all about the connection between you and the divine, you and the universe, you and God, source oneness. The 12th house could cause you to be isolated sometimes because it causes you to want to like try to grasp something that you know to be true, but you can't figure it out. You could also be having really vivid dreams right now about what you should be doing and how you should be doing it, and things just aren't clear enough yet for you to do anything. So in these next couple of weeks, you could be really clearing that for yourself. So their advice in the 12th house is the 10 of Wands. So the 10 of Wands is a very powerful, powerful card. The 10 of Wands is about you, whatever it is that you're going through or thinking of or working on in relationships, you're going to get through this and you're going to win. Okay? And yeah, I guess I'll use the word win. You're going to get through this and you're going to want what you, I mean, you're going to like what you see. You're going to like the way it ends up. It's just with a heavy, heavy heart that you're doing this. The 10 of Wands to me, see all those experiences, all that trauma, all of that. See how he's making it, but he's crawling. Like he's barely making it. And so you may be feeling, you're a woman, he may be feeling, you may be feeling like, I just can't do anymore. I just can't take another step. And they're saying you can. You can take another step. You can move through and you will win. That's what they're saying. That's what you're going to be dealing with. And there are some things in here, that's their advice, is there are some experiences, emotions, there are some things in here that you can release, that you can let go of, that you can go in and delve and say, you know what, I'm really not there anymore. I'm here. I'm dealing with this instead of that over there. And you may look at that and say, you know what, this no longer serves me, and release it. And they're saying this can become lighter if you'll just release some things, okay? So good luck, Scorpio. I know that Jupiter's been in your first house and it's been working. I know you guys are really delving deep. So my beautiful Saggies. So Sagittarius, this is going to be in your 11th house. The 11th house is the house of gains. The 11th house is your social network. It supports the 10th house, which is your purpose, your life purpose, your job, your career, any of that. The way that your status, the way that you come out in the world. So the 11th house is the house of gains. It's where you network. It's where you meet people. It's where you become bigger and expanded, right? And Sag, you're all about that. So you, this is kind of the area that you're dealing with. Your 11th house could be expanding in this, like, probably already started, but in this like next 2 weeks, you could see how it gets even bigger. I have a Saggy moon, so I can see where my networking, my social thing is getting bigger, but I'm working at it, right? So your 11th house, let's ask for the advice in the next 2 weeks. And so this is about planning. The Palace of Swords is a state of mind. This is your head. This is what's going on in your mind, right? So the state of mind, the Swords is about thinking outside the box. The Swords is about really quick movement. The Swords is about letting go of things that no longer serve you. So I feel like in the next 2 weeks, especially tonight, whenever you're focusing on and trying to release stuff, I feel that that's going to happen because it's in your mind. And this is where you need to be working, is in your mind. It's amazing what our minds can do to hold us back, right? And so I feel like with this will be helping you really release that stuff and letting go of it so that you can have things come in this 11th house. I will say that you're going to gain whatever it is you're going to gain because this is the house of gains, okay? So good luck, Saggy. All right, my beautiful Cappies. This is going to be in your 10th house. This is the house, like I mentioned before. The 10th house is your house of life purpose. It's your status. It's it could be your career. It's what you came here to do, right? It's what you came here to do for the world, right? Or yourself and the world. So you're in this house of this house that you have, the 10th house for you, with Libra and the full moon being in there. This is about relationships and how you're dealing with them in your work or in your life purpose or the way that you're doing things, like in your careers or maybe projects or contracts or anything like that that you've been dealing with. And I know you Cappies have been working really, really hard. You've been really focused in your careers. So this is more so about your status and your life purpose, more than just personal relationships. Okay. So their advice in the next 2 weeks. Wow, you have an offering coming in. So you have the Knight of Swords. I love this knight. This knight works swiftly. This knight comes from nowhere. He's that gallivanting knight that just like shows up and you're like, what? Where were you? How the hell did you just come in my life? Right? Like this can be a life changing thing. So get ready. You may feel like nothing's coming. You may feel like, oh my God, I've been working so freaking hard and nothing is coming through. Like, what the heck, right? Like, I got a little bit of stuff, but nothing's really coming through. And so you work harder, right? And so you feel like this is not coming or something's not coming, and then all of a sudden it comes. So as you're releasing and as you're keeping your boundaries and as you're working hard, I feel like in this house, I feel like there's a big change coming for you. In this house for this next 2 weeks, right? You can feel the effects for 4 weeks, but really in 2 weeks, okay? So, Aquas, my beautiful Aquarians, you know I love you. All right, so Aquas, this is going to be in your 9th house of belief system. So you're really, really expanding on your belief system. You're really understanding yourself and yourself with the world and how you're placed in the world and how this world is so different, but you can incorporate yourself and how you have to work in it and how, your mind is expanding in bigger beliefs about how people do things and how you do things. And like, I really feel like you've been delving into this house. So, in this full moon, there could be, because of your belief, loss of relationships, but there could be gains too. Like you could be moving into a space where you find friends or people come towards you that really understand your belief system and really understand how you do things. Nobody's really going to completely understand, but you know what I mean. So, but it's about you making those decisions because your 9th house, this is sort of where you ask those questions. Why am I here? Why do they do that? Why do I do this? Why is it that I feel this way? Why is it that, like, that's the 9th house? And so their advice is the Judgment card. And the Judgment card is about you. So in the next 2 weeks, about you really making decisions. I don't know how many times I've had to say this in the last week and a half. This is really about you putting your money where your mouth is. All the stuff that you wanted, all the things you said you can do, all the things that you want to do, all the ways that you want to have relationships. You've been talking, and you've been doing some of the stuff, but you haven't been connecting in your heart. And this is about connecting, making the choice, and following through. That's what this is about for you. This whole month is about that for you. Okay, so I can see where that can come through. As soon as you make a choice about something, you're the master manifester. You can bring things in quick, and they're waiting. Those gifts are waiting. So good luck, Aquarius. All right, my beautiful Pisces, this is going to be in your 8th house. So the 8th house is about other people's money. Could be loans, could be grants, could be inheritances. This has to do with, I'm trying to think of what else the 8th house is. The 8th house is the house of transformation. So the 8th house is where you can transform. Something can come in and then you completely transform into a new phase of life. So with this full moon, what you're going to be focusing on and what can be coming through as you're letting go is transformation, is understanding, is maybe things haven't been coming through financially, or maybe things in relationships haven't been coming through. And this house of transformation has somebody come in as soon as you let go, right? So kind of feel like their advice right here is the Three of Wands in the next 2 weeks. So the Three of Wands, or especially tonight, what you need to be focusing on is really, so the Three of Wands is about you being really, like, you can get to a point where you've done work and you've done work and you said you want this and you've done the work, and then you do, like, you don't do all the work, you do some of the work, and then you kind of sit there and you're like, all right, I'm waiting for that person to come in, I'm waiting for that money to come in, I'm waiting. That's what the Three of Wands is. And so with the Three of Wands, they advise us that, yeah, you can wait and you can let time, space, time kind of do its thing. But if you lean into it, see, that's your shit. If you lean into it, and as it's coming to you and you're leaning into it, it'll come faster. So leaning into it means, do you have enthusiasm? Are you ready for the adventure of it? Are you smiling? Are you putting energy into it? Are you putting some force into it? And so they're saying, absolutely, you can have the things that you're wanting, but if you're kind of waiting, that may be part of the problem, is that you're kind of waiting. So lean into it. And so in the next couple of weeks, if there's like a contract, or if there's I don't know, an inheritance or something having to do with other people's money, a grant, a loan, something, lean into it. Put some more work into it. Remember, Saturn's doing its thing too, so put some more work into it. All right, Pisces. All right, Aries. Aries, this is about your seventh house of relationships. And this is the house, Libra, of relationships, right? So this is all about relationship boundaries for you. Because the seventh house is where you learn your boundaries. The seventh house is where you learn how you want to be treated, how you want people to treat you. How you want to be treated. That's so Aries. How you want to be treated and how you want to treat other people. Who you want in your life and who you don't want in your life, right? And so you could be working on releasing some people, maybe not cutting them off, but like letting it go, moving on. You could be working on how you're speaking to people, the way that you're wanting to be spoken to. This is all has to do with the full moon and the seventh house being activated for you. So their advice is the Queen of Swords. So this is a beautiful, beautiful queen. You know that. I love this queen. She comes from a lot of loss, a lot of trauma, a lot of tragedy, but she becomes the queen. She understands that all those things were part of hers anyway, and all the things that she is accruing in the relationship she has. She's very independent, so she understands that she can stand on her own, and then she becomes this queen where the people that are around her, the money, the finances, the things, were there. Those were hers to begin with, and all she had to do was see it, right? And so, but this queen, she's really good at letting go. She's really good at cutting people out. She's really good at being independent, okay? And so they're saying, take up the characteristic of the queen, understand what's yours is yours. It was always yours to begin with. And also, there may be some people that you need to let go of, okay? So you'll be working on that. That's their advice. All right, so next are my Taurians. So this is going to be in your sixth house, Taurus, the sixth house of health and day-to-day routine. So your day-to-day routine could be like, do you stay home or do you work or do you do both, or like what do you do, right? And it has to do with your health and well-being. So in this Libra full moon, this house is being activated for you. So I feel like there are some things that you're going to have to let go of. There are some things that maybe you're finishing up. There are some conclusions that are going to be made for you. This is about you either not giving enough or giving too much, really balancing that out with maybe people, with family, with friends. And so their advice in this house is the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is about, again, being nonchalant, kind of like the Three of Wands. But this is about having your eye over here. See, it's where it's at, and not really filling yourself here. So looking to the future, looking at what you don't have, looking at what isn't here, looking at how come they did, how come they was, blah, 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 blah. Like all that talk that you tell yourself. and not realizing what you have here. These cups need to be filled. Your energy needs to be filled. You need to take care of yourself. You need to know where your boundaries are. You need to know not to give too much, right? That's what this is about. This is about you. Yes, you know what you want ahead of you, but what about right now? What about filling these cups right now? What about enjoying the people that you have now? What about appreciating the things and the people and the relationships that you have now, right? And you'll find here, when you come here, that maybe there are some relationships that you need to let go of. Maybe there's some relationships about beliefs that you need to let go of, right? There is something in your daily life for your health and well-being that you need to let go of, right? So that's what you'll be working on in the next couple of weeks. So Jimmies, my beautiful Jimmies, you have the full moon in Libra for relationships in your fifth house of love and creativity. So this is love affairs. This is something that comes from your heart and somebody that comes in, right? And so the fifth house is in the next couple of weeks. You could be ending a relationship. You could be concluding a relationship. You could be letting go of a relationship because this was just a love affair, right? Well, not just, but a love affair. And so you could be letting that go and concluding that and understanding it was what it was, but now it's time to move on. This house is about that. Maybe there's some things if you're writing, if the way that you create from your heart, maybe there's some things that you want to let go of. Maybe there's some things that you're finishing up. That's what's going to be going on in the next 2 weeks for you. And so their advice is the Ace of Coins or the Ace of Pentacles. And I love this one. So the Ace of Pentacles is about, this is the gateway. This is the opening. This is, you'll see the gate and this is the door. The Ace of Pentacles is the door to something solid, but you have to move through it. You have to put some energy into it. So this is about you learning to set this in stone. Take that coin, take that pentacle, and do something with it. Don't just be frivolous and let it go. Create from your heart, and it will become solid, and then your life can change, or your life will be changing the whole time. But this is what this is about, right? This is what this is about. And also, if you know that there's a relationship, a love affair, that's a love affair, but you know that's not the person, then maybe it's time to let them go so that this person can come in, so that the solid one can come in, right? Maybe it's time for that. You'll be dealing with that in the next 2 weeks, Jimmy. All right, so next are my beautiful Cancers, and I don't know if my sister's still here. So Cancer, this is going to be in your fourth house of family and your lineage and your DNA. This has to do with you. Like home is where the heart is, you, right? And so this could be about ending relationships with the way that you're treating yourself, the way that somebody's treating you, putting boundaries, time to let go of some things. Maybe you're doing too much, like you can do, Cancer. Maybe it's time to let go of some situations. Maybe your ego has been involved and you got to like step back where you're like, well, I got to do it because I've always done it, right? And so maybe this is time for you to kind of step back and maybe you like let go of trying to be well, I don't think you're trying to be controlling. I think you just want it done right for some of you. And so you'll be dealing with family matters that way, or your lineage, the way that you do things, or the way that you treat yourself. Okay, so their advice is the Page of Cups. I love this. So they're saying when you're working on this, you have news coming of something that you're really, really wanting. This is something that you've had in your heart. This Page of Cups is like you. It's emotional. It's fulfilling. It's exciting. It really, really gets you going. Okay, so that's their advice: is when you do some of these things and you let go of some of these old things, old habits, old situations, old relationships, understanding and valuing and honoring yourself, then this will come to pass. Okay, so you'll be working on that for the next 2 weeks. All right. Next is my lovely, luscious Lions. So, Leos, this is going to be in your third house of communication, media. We do have Mercury going retrograde right now, or it is retrograde right now. So, this could be about you letting go, releasing, concluding, uh, endings in communication, in media, in writing, in entertainment. If you're in any of that, you could be maybe you're concluding a contract. Maybe you're finishing up a movie. Maybe you're finishing up a script. Maybe you're finishing something up. Um, so this is what this is going to be going on with you. Maybe you're coming to a conclusion about how you and another person are able to communicate. Maybe you come to some conclusion, right? Or maybe you find that just you and that person can't. And so, sorry, you guys still there? Can you guys see me? I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Okay. Well, I can't see me, but I don't know what happened. Huh. That's so weird. Okay. It just went, my screen went black, and I don't know why. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Is that better? Okay. I don't know why it went black. Okay, so Leos. Let's pull the card for Leo. A suspense, right? Ooh, look at you, Leo. All right, so Leo, in the third house, you have celebration coming. Celebration with family, celebration with friends. So it looks like as you're coming to terms with how you want to be treated, having your boundaries, being able to communicate, because a lot of you aren't able to really communicate the way that you want to. I mean, I'm not saying you don't know how to communicate, because you do, but when it comes to really wanting what you want, you won't say it. You expect people to know it sometimes because maybe you hinted to it one time or another, but you don't say it. But over these last couple of years, or a year for some of you, you've been really understanding how to do that, right? That's right, because my sister dropped my phone. Anyway, so maybe, so their advice is as you honor yourself and as you work on this and as you release some of those things and as you conclude some of those things, you've got celebration coming. You've got really happy times coming. You have, I'm hearing betterment for you coming. So this will be going on in the next 2 weeks for you. Congratulations, Leo. It's time. All right. So last but certainly not least are my beautiful Virgos. Virgo, this is going to be happening in your second house of finances. So this is second house of finances, of things, of this is the value that you put to your first house, which is your identity. So I'll give you an example. Somebody who works really hard for because they want a particular car, right? And so they work really hard to get that car, and then they say, that's my car. I did that. I worked hard. I got that. I make the payments. That's mine. And look what I got. That's the second house, right? So the second house is the value that you put to your identity, but it's part of you. It's a physical, and it has to do with your finances too. So you could be, Virgo, in this full moon, letting go, releasing, concluding, endings of relationships with things or with people that have to do with your value, okay? So their advice is the Five of Coins. So they're saying, and I see this really clearly too, they're saying sometimes, letting go of someone or letting go of something, actually, letting go of some finances, letting go of some, maybe it's a house, maybe it's a car, maybe it's a computer, maybe it's a phone, maybe it's like whatever this thing that has to do with your value, coming from a place of need, like you don't want to give it away or you don't want to let it go because, oh my gosh, if I let it go, then it's gone, right? But they're saying sometimes that's time to let things go and conclude things so that the bigger stuff can come in, so that the stuff that you're trying to get to can come in. And they're saying don't come from a place of need, because this card, the Five of Pentacles, you see how she's like destitute and outside in the snow. But her pentacles, there's pentacles right there, but she's acting like she has nothing, right? And so they're saying, take a look at what you have, and sometimes it's time to let go. But when you do that, don't come from a place of need where if you let go, you're never going to get anything, because that's not true. That's not true. Sometimes what happens is you need to let go so that the bigger things can come in, so that the new car can come in, so that the new phone can come in, so that the new house can come in, so that the new relationship can come in, so that the new money can come in. Sometimes you got to let go of old money so that new money can come in, right? So that's what this has to do with, and that's what you'll be working through. And so they're saying to come from a better space than this, okay? And the best way to raise your vibration or change it is to start with a state of appreciation, right? I tell you guys that all the time. The way to get to your heart chakra is to start with a state of appreciation. Start with just appreciating the little things about you, about maybe your family, about maybe your children, and then move from there to the next thing and the next thing. And then soon enough, your heart will open, okay? All right, my gorgeous ones. Thank you so much for coming in. I really, really appreciate it. I love you dearly. For those of you that, please share this out if you're on IG. If you are on YouTube, when I load this, upload this, be sure to like, share, subscribe. Share this out so people can see it. And YouTube, I probably will go on live a little later tonight. I'm not really sure. I've been working on these videos, so I gotta see. But I love you, love you, love you. I'll talk to you soon. And sis, I'll call you in just a little bit. Bye. Now it won't end.